बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम।
अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर। अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदर रसूलुल्लाह, अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदर रसूलुल्लाह। हय्या अलस्सलाह, हय्या अलस्सलाह, हय्या अलफलाह, हय्या अलफलाह। अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह।
अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह वहदहु ला शरीका लहु व अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदन अब्दुहु व रसूल। मा बादु फअऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। First reading is from chapter 2, Al-Baqarah, verse 219. Yas'alunaka anil khamri wal maisir, qul fihima ithmun kabirun wa manafi'u linnas wa ismuhuma akbaru من نفعهما ويسألونك ماذا ينفقون قل العفو كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون. They ask you about intoxicants and games of chance. Say in both of them there is a great sin and some advantage for men, and their sin is greater than their advantage. And they ask you as to what they should spend. Say what you can spare. Thus Allah make clear to you the messages that you may ponder. The next is Al-Ma'idah chapter 5 verses 90 and 91. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إنما الخمر والميسر والأنصاب والأزلام رجس من عمل الشيطان فاجتنبوه لعلكم تفلحون إنما يريد الشيطان أن يوقع بينكم العداوة والبغضاء في الخمر والميسر ويصدكم عن ذكر الله وعن الصلاة فهل أنتم منتهون. O you who believe, in intoxicants and games of chance and sacrificing to stones set up and dividing by arrows are only an uncleanness, the devil's work. So shun it that you may succeed. The devil desires only to create enmity and hatred among you by means of intoxicants and games of chance, and to keep you back from the remembrance of Allah and from prayer. Will you then keep back? I've recited these verses because of a BBC program. It was broadcast on 7th of May this year, and its title was, what was the title? What does alcohol do to the body and the brain? And if you go to the BBC website and you go to sounds and go to play, then you will be able to find a recording of these programs. Now you see, scientists tell us that all our decisions should be based on facts. And they should not be based on belief and all these kinds of things. Because they claim that belief has no place in the modern society, because it may not be supported by facts. So here the Holy Quran, it says, they ask you about khamar, and some people used to literally translate that to mean wine, because this is literally what it means. But Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali has correctly translated that as intoxicants. And in another place where The Holy Quran talks about not going to prayer. It talks about when you're not fully conscious of what you're reciting and saying. So that means it doesn't just apply to wine. And it also means it doesn't just apply to alcoholic drinks, but to everything that is going to cloud your judgment. And that includes weed and heroin and cocaine and so on. And it seems odd that some of these things are banned while others are not. Smoking in public has been banned. Why? Because of its harmful effects. And alcohol has equally damaging effects, harm to the brain, harm to the body, harm to social relationships and so on. And because of monetary effects, it's not banned. So let us look at what this program said. And they explained that when you drink, what happens is that your liver, very little of it is absorbed into your body in your stomach. Your liver has the job to break down your food intake and your drink intake and break it down and basically try and get rid of harmful things. And after breaking food and drink down, it then becomes absorbed by your blood. And the blood circulates throughout your body, taking these nutrients to all organs. So blood takes this alcohol that's broken down into your brain as well. Now remember this, that if you've taken something harmful, then liver itself needs time to recover, to purify itself, because that might have absorbed some of the harmful chemicals that it's been broken down and breaking down and stopping from getting into your bloodstream and so on. So liver itself needs time to rejuvenate, to recover. And remember, it takes 1 hour for it to metabolize 1 unit of alcohol. And the scientists in this program, they said that 1 pint of beer has 2 units of alcohol. So that's going to take 2 hours to metabolize and get rid of everything. And once your blood, which has alcohol in it, gets to your brain, then it obviously affects the brain. One thing is that we know that people become hazy and forgetful once that happens. And also, there are chemicals in the brain, inhibitors, that stop you from doing the wrong thing. Basically, alcohol depresses brain function and brain activity, and it depresses those chemicals as well. This is why people, after drinking, they feel more chatty and less inhibited, etc., etc. And people drink because, they want to be friendly and happy and not feel stress. And by depressing these chemicals in the brain, the stress doesn't go away. Things don't go away. It's just that you don't feel their effect on your body. Now, having said that, remember that government has put a limit on drinking of alcohol, and they recommend that during a week you should not drink more than 14 units of alcohol. And these scientists were asked, does that mean that drinking that amount is not harmful? And they said no. It doesn't mean that it's not harmful. Regular drinking, even of that amount, is going to harm your brain and harm you physically as well. They went on to point out that people who take this or less alcohol, 1% of deaths consist of these people. So the harm doesn't stop. So, it may be that it's not so obvious to others around you what that harm is. But the harm is still there. This is not some kind of a target that people should try and achieve, and etc. It's just a figure that's been picked out of thin air, I think, because these scientists, and remember, there were 3 of them, not one. One specialized in effect of alcohol on the brain, one specialized on effect of alcohol on the liver. And so these are their findings and not my findings that I'm sort of rushing through to share with you. And they were then asked, you can't open a newspaper but read some heading saying 1 glass of red wine is good for your physical health, etc., etc. And all 3 of them said, and listen to this, that science shows there is no beneficial physical effect of alcohol. None at all. On the contrary, as I said, it damages human body and it damages human brain because it increases dopamine, which makes you feel good, which makes you feel high. And your brain then thinks, why can't I be in this state all the time? So once you start drinking, you feel like drinking. It's no different from smoking. Your brain gets used to absorbing this chemical. And when you don't provide it with that chemical, it then craves for it. And because when stress is suppressed, when inhibitors are suppressed, then you feel happier, more joyous. And here it's worth pointing out that alcohol does more damage to women than it does to men. Because what happens is that because in females, the fat content is greater than in males. And some of this alcohol gets absorbed in that fat and it's not metabolized. And the result is that it stays in the body and it's not broken down and it harms your organs. And women start physically experiencing bad effects of alcohol much earlier than men do because of this reason. And interestingly, these scientists also looked at you might have heard of dry January, when what happens is that people say there were too many Christmas parties and office dues and so on, and we drank too much in the period leading up to Christmas and during Christmas and bank holiday and so on. So we're going to have a dry January. And these scientists found that stopping drinking starts having a beneficial effect on their physical, on these people's physical and mental health almost immediately. And one of the scientists there, he said he's given up drinking. He doesn't drink anymore. And the other two said they don't drink during the daytime. If they drink, then maybe in the evening or whatever. But you see, the interesting thing is this, that when Muslims say alcohol should be banned, people say, well, Islam is a prescriptive religion and it's always banning things, etc., etc. People should be free. Well, freedom should come when you base it on facts. First question I ask is this: if people should be free, then why aren't they free to smoke? Why are minors, people under 16, I think, why are they banned from buying cigarettes? There must be some reason. If a person should be free, the people should be free to drive at 120 miles an hour. They should be free to smoke in trains and in restaurants. And why have you banned them? It's been banned because it's harmful. It's been banned because it's been shown to be harmful and damaging to everyone's health. Why are pregnant women told to stop smoking? Why are pregnant women told to stop drinking? Why all these prohibitions? But when we say that Islam says ban alcohol or don't drink, people immediately start talking about freedom of choice and this and that. After Friday prayers, go and turn on your television and look at the advertisements and how they portray drinking and so on. Compare it with the advertisements for smoking a few years ago until it was banned. They're exactly the same. They glamorize something. And when you basically lie to sell your product and you deceive people, does law allow that? No, it doesn't. Turn on any television program. Half that program will be set in a wine bar, in a pub or something. So that means you remove people's ability to independently choose. People being manipulated. They're being bombarded with false propaganda. And what does the Quran say? Let's go back. They ask you about intoxicants and games of chance. Say, in both of them there is great sin, although there is some advantage for humans. And their sin is greater than their advantage. Now look at what scientists have discovered 1600 years after that verse was revealed to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's read the next verse. O you who believe, intoxicants and games of chance, etc., are an uncleanness, devil's work, so shun it. Devil desires only to create enmity and hatred among you by means of intoxicants and games of chance. How many times have we seen on television, on the news and so on, that people went to the pub and so on, and they got drunk and they came out and they were fighting each other and someone died, and etc. etc. How many times have we seen on television people gambling while playing cards or whatever else and cheating, and the loser loses his temper and there's a fight or whatever? How many times have we seen the impact, the effect of these things on individual families and lives, where a person is more interested in drinking rather than spending that money to buy food for their children. And the list goes on and on and on. And it amazes me when you present these verses of the Holy Quran, people say, oh, well, you mustn't base your decisions on belief. You must base them on scientific facts. I've just given you for the scientific facts. And yet no government in the West is going to ban alcohol. America tried and failed. These facts force you to ban cigarette smoking in public and so on. Now, if you want to sit at home and get cancer, fine, but don't give it to other people. It's unfortunate that Muslims cannot answer objections against Islam in a rational and scientific way. And they just talk about belief. Remember, the Holy Quran is a scientific book. It was up to us to do this research that these non-Muslims are doing to show the truth of the Holy Quran, that the Holy Quran was right to say that all intoxicants, not just wine, not just alcohol-based intoxicants, but all intoxicants should be banned. Barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Quranil Azim wa nafa'ana wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim. Innahu ta'ala jawadun karimun malikun barraufur rahim. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa رسول. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma ansur man nasara deen Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ja'alna minhum. Allahumma واقتل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منهم. عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. واذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah, qad qamatis salah, qad qamatis salah. Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Alhaakumut takathur hatta zurtumul maqabir. Kalla sawfa ta'lamuna thumma kalla sawfa ta'lamun. Kalla law ta'lamuna ilmal yaqin latarabunnal jahim. Thumma latarawunnaha aynal yaqin. ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر وتواصوا والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده.
ربنا
الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله استغفر الله Thank you for joining us for today's Friday service. I hope you'll keep praying to Allah to protect humanity from its own stupidity and pray for everyone regardless of their nationality, religion, caste, creed, or color. Because that is all we can do. So until we meet again next Friday, Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.